Hello everybody, I am back with another video, and first off I'd like to say thank you everybody for all your comments on my last video of what was your first memories. There were so many of you commented. That is gorgeous. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I did see them, and I loved reading some of your stories. Definitely. And I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, everybody that contributed. And as you know, I'm doing these videos of me and my face, doing the videos as a bit of a record. So there's a record of stuff in my past. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the time I spent in a home for a few months back in 1965. We entered in September of 1965. I'll try not to and ah too much in this video. I did sort of notice that I did it a little bit in my did it again in my last one. American people they just go and there's no and ah in there. I don't know. It must be something about Australians. There's so many and ahing, punctuating everything. But thank you very much, everybody that has tuned in. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I am going to be saying some pretty raw and honest things. I don't see why I shouldn't. Some of them might not be hugely favourable towards my mother. Don't get me wrong. I love my mother up to bits. But my mother does have a bit of a narcissistic personality, which has become quite evident over the years. Like I said, I love my mother to death. Better to say things where I'm not hiding anything than wait until she's died and people think, oh God, she's not around to defend herself. I'm not going to be slagging off her. I'm just going to be stating things as they are. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Click the notification bell, because in my analytics that I had a look at, there's a lot of people that look at my videos but aren't actually subscribed. So please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, do all that sort of stuff, so we can get this channel happening a little bit more. I will bring you more abandoned house videos when I've got them, due to lockdown situation with all this nonsense going on around the world. We aren't allowed to travel more than 5-kilometre radius around where we live, so that's pretty tight. So we can't go anywhere. I can't even go to the beach with the dogs, because should the policeman pull us up and ask what I'm doing, because I'm out of my 5-kilometre radius of home, I could get slammed with quite a huge fine. And I don't think they're mucking around anymore. I think it's gone to something like 4,000. Anyway, we're not allowed to talk about that sort of stuff. So let's get into this thing. I have got some record. I did back in 1998. I did contact the home that I was in, and they very kindly, but it's very piecemeal. There's bits missing that I've noticed are missing, so it's very iffy. So we ended up in a home back in, let me get my glasses on. So this is an application for admission, right? And it was dated the 7th of September 1965. And this is for me. For the rundown check thing that they do before you. My health, it's got all information where I came from and all that sort of stuff. My health, what infectious diseases has child had? Measles. I didn't realise I'd had them already then. Present state of health, good, of course. Does the child suffer from bedwetting? No. Well, that's good. because I knew that I wasn't very comfortable with it at a very early age. Um, and also, tell me, are you happy me sharing these stories with you? I was going to actually just leave this one because this one's a little bit heavy, and just sort of throw what was your first car video at you, just as a more light entertainment one. But I thought, well, no, this has been on my mind. I may as well write it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Please let me know what you think. And are you happy with these? Is it too much? Should I just go for just sort of watch you first and just light and breezy ones? But everybody likes a little bit of juice. So the reason for my mother going in was because reason for application, mother ill. That's basically all it says. So that's when we were admitting people. Then there's a rundown of this is to certify that I have examined myself today and find him fit and well and free of contagion. Well, that's good, isn't it? So this was on the 5th of September. I don't know. Oh, this was from a doctor that I was taken to. Lovely. So, okay. This Lincluden, when you hear Lincluden, this is the home. I'll post a picture of the actual home itself. And it was called Lincluden. There were so many of these big, grand, imposing houses in the same area. You could walk. They were all next door to each other, all part of Burnside. And we were in Lincluden. Okay, here we go. 6th of September, memo to Lincluden. This is to confirm that we expect the following children to be admitted to your home within the next day or two. Okay, so my sister, Elkie, other sister, Heike, I don't know. So, I don't know if I should be putting their names, but my sister and myself. So, my sister and Michael will attend the early kindergarten and the other three, the Burnside School, which triggered my memory. I didn't realise that it was there. This kindergarten, back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, there was nap time. And they were these, I don't know, like, seemed like really low, I don't know, army cot type looking setup things. Like, with canvas, just like a canvas mat thing on the metal frame. And light enough that we could pick it up and move it, because I obviously didn't know what was going on because I was so young. I was restless and apparently disruptive, so I had to, because I wouldn't go to sleep, and I can't sleep, which makes sense. Right from an early age, sorry, my son's gone. Right from an early age, I have never been able to sleep. One of these people that kids can drop off, go like that to sleep in a car, anywhere like that. I just can't. Never have been able to. So at the kindergarten, that's pretty much my only memory of these army cots, and I had to take it outside into the hallway because I was being disruptive to the other children, and I had to sleep there. But I had to pretend I was sleeping because back then in the 60s thing, the people that were looking after you were a lot more strict and a lot more harsh, and they were like really quite stern, like they were appeared scary to me. So that was there. So here's a piece where there's bits missing as well. So, and father, this is the new bit they sent, and father would not be required to pay anymore. There's, like I said, pieces missing. So there was clothing. Had washed the. My dad had washed the clothes and bought them unironed. Bless. That's nothing out of the ordinary. A man back in the 60s knowing how to iron. But anyway, there was very little for each child, and Mrs. Waters will supplement them from stock, which I don't remember at all. I did show you at the end of the last video a picture of us up against a dark brick wall, all of us there. I'll post it again in this one, may as well. That was at the home that we were there. I don't know if they supplied us with those clothes that were photographed in, but anyway. So, visiting. My dad is dependent on Reverend. There's a Reverend that played a huge part in a lot of what was going on, communication and transport and all that sort of stuff. Bless you, Mr. Reverend Woodger. Or someone in the parish to give him a lift to Burnside. Where we were, I don't know. Back then, it probably, I don't know, an hour or so maybe might have been. Just from memory from where we were, the road conditions and all that sort of stuff, it probably might have been an hour, it might have been more, I don't know. Reliant to give a lift to Burnside. So it is possible that he may not come each visit day, but we'll get into that a little bit more. He did, bless his heart, go to a lot of trouble. And I mentioned in the last video that my father had an accident. Apparently he had a couple, and he received quite damaging. He came off a scooter or a motorbike, and he ended up with quite severe head injuries from it. And I wish I had known growing up more about his situation. It wasn't until only a few years ago when I was working in mental health, supporting people with acquired brain injury, and knowing the acquired brain injury, a lot of the symptoms are the same for the people. A lot of aggression going on, abrupt. I won't go into it too much, but if I had known that, I probably would have understood my father an awful lot more, because my elder sister says that before the accident, he was really, really lovely. I never experienced that. I just experienced my father being quite aggressive and really quite a violent man. I just thought it was back then, but you just dealt with it, yeah? So there are no relatives or friends in the metropolitan area who could help. My dad will care for my brother and my youngest brother. They're saying my mother was ill, reason for why we went into the hospital. But they're saying my eldest brother didn't go into the home with us. He stayed to look after my youngest brother, who was born 3 years after me. So around this same sort of time, I was born in 61. So he would have been born in 64-ish type thing. So it's same difference. So was my mother out with the fact that she just had my youngest brother? Anyway, so we'll be looking after my youngest brother himself. He knows he can ring during the week to inquire about the children. Bless. Okay, temporary care admission. History. This was on the 7th of the 9th, 1965. Another referral from Reverend Woodger. I don't know how to pronounce it. Woodger. History. The family migrated from Germany 2.5 years ago with their 6 children. Eldest boy is 10 years old, and lived at the Skyville immigration camp. Later they moved to a 2-bedroom with 6 children. A 2-bedroom rented place in a town called Cattai in New South Wales. The seventh child, my youngest brother, was born in Australia. My dad, worked as a freezer hand with the Ribstone Meat Works until the 26th of the 11th, 1964. We get into the accident here. He was involved in a car accident. There have been complications, compensation for the accident for my dad, Kubler. It's written all over. Like my watermark is got Kubler on it, so I'm not scared about sharing that information. Was since been unemployed, receiving social service benefits because of the accident, because his rehabilitation, which again triggers a memory. My dad made, I don't know if it was this time when he was in hospital, but as part of people's therapy, to physiotherapy to help them. I've gone all, it's gone. I went all angelic there for a sec. He made a tray and it had horses. It was wooden and it had horses on it. It's still floating around somewhere. Somebody has got it, and it's got wick up low, obviously because it was a meal tray, and it was extremely well done. It was beautiful. So he obviously made that when he was in hospital, recuperating from therapy, because he was out for a while. Okay, so the reason for admission, Mrs. Kubler had a miscarriage, which doesn't make sense. To me, it's a bit blurry. Was she out because she had my youngest brother, she had a miscarriage? Not making a huge amount of sense to me anyway. Had a miscarriage recently. If she had a miscarriage, that's really sad. That's most unfortunate for my mum. And after discharge from hospital, suffered a physical and mental collapse. I said in my last video, very briefly, very flippantly, that just need to look at my mother's expression about how they were with each other in their relationship. Things went downhill, I tell you. My mother is, bless your heart, Mum, love you to pieces, a bit of a narcissist, and we've had to deal with it all our lives. So nothing against my mother. Oh, there I go, angelic again. Nothing against my mother's miscarriage, but yeah, you'll understand a little bit more. So, she was readmitted on the 24th to hospital on the 24th, who have recommended that she be relieved of the children's care for 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. The family is faced with an accommodation problem, ill health of the father, and subsequent anxiety about his income, mother's loss of a child, coupled with the responsibility of both parents to raise a family of 7 under such difficulties, which it would have been. No work, 7 kids, very limited English, very limited resources for anybody, because for some reason they decided to live out in the middle of bloody Whoop Whoop, which was great for us, but out in the middle of Whoop Whoop, the country. Reverend Woodger bought the father and 7 children. Mr. Kubler is tall, thin, and you saw my father. He was actually really quite thin. I was quite thin, similar to him for most of my life, until I basically got to about 40, and then boom, I just got fat. Okay. With a pale complexion, still my dad, speaks English quite well, but was shy and hesitant to leave, and left most of the talking to Reverend Woodger. The children all looked very healthy and typically German. The photo, we're all got almost white hair. Typically German with very fair hair and blue eyes. My eldest brother and sister mothered the other children whilst we talked, bless. My younger sister cried when her father left. Myself was busy exploring. And my eldest sister was the big girl ready to help sort the clothes. My sister now has sort of some issues around having to play the mother when a mother wasn't available. Anyway, that's that. Okay, 16th of the 10th on my birthday, 1965, Reverend Woodger brought both parents to visit the children. I had a lengthy discussion with the Reverend and Mrs. Kubler. Apparently there are many problems with this family, ranging from marital difficulties. There you go, it's written. People were noticing. Marital difficulties, ill health of the father, financial difficulties, unsuitable accommodation in that it is cut off from local amenities, what I just said, out in the middle of nowhere, out in the sticks, transport, etc. Reverend Woodgar explained that Mr. Kubler is very jealous of my eldest brother, repeatedly punishes him. I'm putting that down to his acquired brain injury. Yeah. So Mr. Kubler is still receiving treatment for his back injury and had a spinal manipulation under anaesthetic this week. The hearing... the family will be relieved of some of their financial difficulties once it goes to compensation. My mother is to be seen on the 24th, and if considered well enough, the children would possibly be discharged by the 26th of October. However, I felt that Reverend Woodger was pressing for the children to remain at Woods Burnside until the parents have achieved some stability. If the father can return to work after the hearing or obtain some compensation, this may help him to feel he is once again carrying the role of economic provider. Makes sense back then, back in the 60s. Men were the main provider. So Miss Kubler, impressed as an intelligent, mature woman, very proud of her children and anxious to have them home. Turns out, no, you weren't really, Ma. The strained relationship between her and her husband seems a major concern at present. Okay. I won't try and read this because... Where is it? There. That's too hard to try and read right now. Okay, this was on the 29th of October. Mr. Memo to Lincluden, the house. Mr. Woodger has phoned to say that the Kublers are sorry they will not be able to get down tomorrow. He did not say the reason, but it is presumed to be transport. So there was a lot of, not a huge amount of explaining to us as kids what was going on. One day, just memories were in the home, and we just had to deal with it. They came and picked us up, and I spent my birthday in there. Obviously, I just read out some letter from the 16th of October. And we shared it with my sister, my youngest sister, who is standing beside me in the photo. and we shared a birthday together. I've got a photo, but I don't know where it is. It's probably at my mum's place, and I don't know how to get it because she's too far away. So we shared a birthday. My memory there, it was and the room seemed really dark for some reason. It was obviously must have been in the dining hall thing, the dining room of this house. And we had our little party, coned party hats on, and I had my cake. And there was a boy in there, and his name was Mark. And myself and my younger sister, we both remember that Mark. Mark used to pick his scabs off his face, and he used to eat them. True story. That's my memory of my birthday in the home. Who knows what happened to Mark? I don't have too many other memories. I did find a Facebook group that for the home that I was in, and I've joined it, and I've tried to get some information. But I don't know. I didn't realise the house mother, don't know how else to call them, and the father of the house had a daughter that apparently helped look after us. I didn't know that. I do have memories, for some reason, I have memories of a big bathtub down low, and it was huge. Tubs were really big and deep back then. And the older children used to be down in that one. But there was one up higher. It seemed like it was like staggered, and it had stairs to it. I don't know. Is it a dream? But did I have that dream while I was in the home? But that's what I remember. It probably not. I tried to find out some information from this daughter, but I don't know. She's very sheepish. She doesn't like to give too much information. So I haven't really tried a great deal. So I've just left it. And she did remember our names though, which I thought was odd. Like, she just offered the names. I thought, oh my goodness, like, well done. I hurt my finger. So memories there. I have still got a teddy bear that I was given. I think by the house mother. I was given a teddy because I was upset or something or other to make me feel better. I do remember we had upstairs, you went up almost like a central staircase from memory. It might have been over to the side a bit, but they were quite grand looking stairs, well, to me, being three, going up these stairs, they looked really grand. And we were up over to the left on the other side of the corridor at the top of the thing. And I remember my brother and myself, we had our bedroom. You have to excuse the light. I'm using sunlight as my lighting today in Barbara. So my memory, we were in bed, and being kids, you'd hear somebody coming up the stairs. You'd duck back in bed and pretend you were asleep with the covers over you and all that sort of stuff. We did that a lot, but looking out the window, we overlooked a lot of Sydney, and because the homes were up higher, and you looked down over the city. And Parramatta, Parramatta is a bit of a distance from Sydney itself, so you got this sweeping view, and it always reminded me of the Flintstones. The closing credits when they turn the lights off all through the houses. That's what it always reminded me of. So, yes, some nice ones. The house mother, the house father, I don't actually remember the house mother terribly much at all, apart from she'd come up the stairs with a wooden spoon if we were out of bed. The house father, I just remember him being a scary old, to me, old, probably obviously quite young if they had an 11-year-old daughter. And I just remember him. I remember the smell of the newsprint. The newsprint back then was really strong, or the ink was really strong, for people remember. And big giant newspaper while he was having his breakfast. That's all I remember of him. Was walking past him, and he'd be reading his newspaper. That's all I remember of him. Also, while we were there, I'm pretty sure while we were there, we were taken to some, not march, parade. I think it was from there. I remember curried egg sandwiches. And I had never had them before, and I really loved them. I thought, oh, these are nice. And there was some parade going on down the street, and we were all there and getting into the parade. I have no idea. I can't remember what the parade was for, but I just remember the curried egg sandwiches, and I still love them to this day. Also, it was early on in the piece when the clear plastic toothbrushes, well, they might have been out earlier, but it was all new to me, fascinated me, because you had these clear plastic, like really clear, like almost like glass. They're still around today, but almost like glass. And this really deep red, like really deep, and I thought it was amazing that for some reason it must have been going to the kindergarten. I don't know. I felt like we'd only just bought them, because I had them, and I was only young, going and across the street, like there was like a pedestrian crossing. We had to be careful. And we all had these toothbrushes. Bizarre memories, but that's where we were. So on the 29th of September, Mr. Kubler's children have settled in at Burnside and are well and happy. The older girls are, of course, keen to know when they might be returning home. I would be glad if you could find some time on Friday, the 1st of October, to let us know if the father will be visiting. We would also like to hear from Mrs. Kubler's progress, so that we can begin to plan for the children's discharge. And then it started to drag on. 12th of November, I've got one here. The Kubler children will be leaving tomorrow morning, the 13th of November. So, beginning of September, middle of November. So yeah, there's that. Okay, this is on the 1st of, like I said, it's all a bit piecemeal. But very good that I have it, because it has cleared up a lot of stuff. Like I said, my poor dad, and I had a bit of a sort of, yes, you're my father. Yes, you provided for us. Yes, you were really quite horrible to us, and quite a violent man. But back then, you just dealt with it, because that's how a lot of life was for people. You just thought it was normal, it was ordinary. But today, when I think back on it, I think, oh my goodness, that is some serious child abuse going on there that could have you seriously jailed for a term for what doing to people. Okay. Give you an example, all right? Bless his heart. And I remember the house that we're living in, the little 2-bedroom house in the country. You had the kitchen area and dining room sort of together, and you had the table up against to one side against the wall, and there we had a big long lounge at the table, so everybody could sit around the table. I was lying on, and it would have been around that time somewhere. My father was a fanatic with sharpening his knives, you know. Obviously because he worked at the Riverworks, yes, so he was always sharpening them. I'm lying as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, if that, lying on the lounge, and I remember it clearly, like lying on this lounge. The table was beside me there. My dad's at the end of the table, and he's sharpening his knives, and he's doing his thing. And there was an old tapestry of deers that they bought with them from Germany. So anyway, that's my memories of that. Lying on the lounge, just in a pair of shorts probably, or pair of shorts, maybe, undies, whatever. And my father decided that he wanted to see how sharp his knife was. And he thought it was like a great joke, and just not with nasty malice, but obviously with the brain injury going on, not thinking, thought it was a huge joke to go across my bare stomach, and he did it lightly, like obviously, thank God he did it lightly, to go across my stomach just very lightly with his sharpened butcher's knife. And now what could go wrong? Of course, there's a bit of a cut right across my stomach. It's bleeding. I don't know what happened with anybody. He thought it was a great joke. He was laughing about it. I do remember that. And then all I remember is getting up and somebody putting a towel around me to stop the bleeding. Not normal behaviour at all. But we thought it was normal behaviour because we didn't know any different, right? So there was a lot of things that, because of my reflection, because this cancer thing, because it makes you reflect on your life and sort of focus on things just that pop up in, and it's getting the fact that I'm getting older as well. So a lot of thinking, and how it now affects me, and having an understanding. Yeah, I understand why I am the way I am now, because how are we going with the glasses? I understand how I am now because of my upbringing. What I thought was normal is not normal. There wasn't a great deal of emotional support and encouragement by either parents at all. And a lot of it had to do, like we ended up, and I'm not anything special. My family's not anything special. Back then, that's how it was for a lot of people. So we're not special. But also gives me an understanding as to why I am the way I am. I had to teach most of my life how to act with, because I never had that nurturing support from my parents. So there you go. Okay, so the first of the 10th, Mr. Woodger requires another month's treatment, and he is my mother, they got Woodger in the wrong place. My mother requires another month's treatment and unable to bring the father to see the children. Okay, so there's another one I can't read. Don't know why the dogs are barking, but anyway, sorry about that. Okay, this is on the 1st of September. Reverend Woodger phoned today and stated that he had taken Mrs. Kubler to visit the specialist, and he recommended further months treatment. Yeah, okay. There seems to be a lot of rehashing and a lot missing in these notes that they decided to share with me. Okay, this is on the 13th of October. Mrs. Kubler rang our social worker today and was saying she hoped to visit the children on Saturday. Not a huge attempt by my mother to, like, this motherly instinct. It was more my father in reading a lot of these notes. When it came to, being there for us, even with his injury. We were wondering if they had been in touch with you in regard to transport and if you could ring. So there's that. Okay. Mrs. Kubler phoned. She has been discharged from hospital and her doctor suggests that she will be well enough in another 2 or 3 weeks to have the children home again. It would appear that my mother dragged things out. She became clearer, and I am a bit choppy in these notes because I don't know how much I should be sharing with everybody. Let me know, like I said, let me know what you think. Am I being too personal? No, I have a right to. Do this record for myself. So there is something out there. My understanding of how my life evolved, and my mother, it became apparent, and over the years, not just here, that she was again also learning mental health support and all the training with that. That my mother was quite a bit of a narcissist, and we were dealing with a narcissist. If anybody's had to deal with a narcissist, you'd understand. So, okay, another 2 or 3 weeks to have the children home again. I encouraged her to visit this Saturday. She mistakenly thought it would upset the children too much, but was thrilled to know she could come. She will contact and arrange transport. So, another early trait, projecting, thinking, oh, it's going to be too much. I didn't want to upset you. It's been an ongoing thing through my growing up, all my life. This is to certify that Mr. Kubler and Mrs. Kubler and her husband. Oh, when's this? That's the 6th of September. So I won't worry about that. Just giving you an insight. I just thought I'd talk a bit about the home that I was in, because it did play a major part in our lives. It would appear that no sooner had we come home. I think my sisters didn't actually even come home. I think my sisters ended up going to another girls' home in a place called Bowral. I think, I could be wrong, and I'm pretty sure I found out my elder sister saw my last video, so she probably might comment in the comments. They were whisked away to... Oh, no. Anyway. They ended up in another home. We did go home eventually. So much more to talk about. Me being shoved as a 3-year-old. My eldest brother. And you just did these sort of things, yeah? Roaming and like rugged country bush. Without shoes, we were out all day, being shoved down rabbit holes to try and chase rabbits out of these holes as a 3-year-old. And if anybody knows what a rabbit hole looks like, rabbit-wise, it was awful. I remember all these cobwebs and spider webs all around me, and all the dirt falling down on top of me. You just did it. He just get in there. Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, get in there. So you just sucked it up and you just go and went about your life. Anyway, this is long enough. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Please let me know what you'd like to hear. Am I sharing too much? I don't think I am as a personal record. I'd love to hear what you'd like to hear. Yeah, I'm happy to keep giving you more and more installments as my years go on. There's so much more after I came out of the home. It living in that place in the country in that two bedroom house has made a huge impact on all of us kids. We have huge memories, even though it wasn't for a huge amount of time. 64, I think, we were moved in there, and I think it might have been 66 or 67 that we ended up moving to another place. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. You are gorgeous people, and yeah, share. There were so many comments last week, and I'm trying not to just give excuses just because. There were so many comments last week. It was great reading them. I just didn't feel, just in case I missed out on people, clicking the heart button on people. I love the fact that you responded. Thank you very much. I will share my first card story with you at some point when I think it's okay. Like I said, I might give you a story just as a light mood for just me in my eyelashes and telling a really dumb kid's story. So you never know what you're going to get. Let me know what you'd like to see. I'd like to be a little bit more interactive with all you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this for the first time. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, do all the likey things, give me the thumbs up, share me around, and I hope these aren't really boring. If they're boring, let me know in the comments, and I'll steer away from giving you these boring stories. It's gonna rain. My nose is itchy. My nose gets itchy when it's gonna rain. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Love you all. Peace out, everybody. See you all next time. Bye for now.